mannequins and everything. Get exposure is the biggest thing to using this equipment before we actually get in the field and use it on a real human being. So a lot of this stuff is very accurate. All these mannequins have the same anatomy, so being able to recognize all the structures and be able to utilize the equipment to maintain airways and things like that is a big deal as far as when it comes to application. Not exactly stress. It's more of a relief, really, because you get to apply it and use it here before you actually get in the field. It'd be a lot more stressful if you're going in and using something for the first time on an actual patient, and if you don't really have any exposure to that, it's a little nerve-wracking in that sense. So it's a relief more than stress. So.
Creating what we're creating on the software. The mannequins, the type of mannequins that we utilize are very high-end, what we consider high fidelity or high reality, and they can have seizures, they can vomit, we can change their breathing patterns, we can make it so you can't actually get the airway or intubate the patient. They have IVs that you actually give IV fluids and medications and things like that too. We can change their pupil size, we can change their heart sounds, all of those type of components that we could, take from a clinical situation and put it into the simulation environment, and then we can create a scenario or a situation. The simulation environment is different for everybody coming into it. Some people feel very, very nervous, some people feel very comfortable. It really depends on what their basic exposure has been. If they had it during their undergrad type of nursing program, then they would feel more comfortable coming into it and transitioning into that. For those that haven't had that much exposure experience, there's a little bit of a learning curve in which to sort of move into that environment. We guide people through it, strategically orient them to the simulation environment, and now it just becomes part of their experience.
I would certainly recommend it to any students looking forward to getting the exposure of this simulation lab that has all this high-tech equipment. Definitely gives you an advantage compared to other programs.